Silver's Bullet. Their dispatch from the 2,400 metre marker. One of the first to go, Silver Rose, is along the inside. Dynasty's Blossom is right there shortly after the start. Strathdon's amongst the leading group early on, and Mangrove is the widest of all on the outside. Just behind them is LIEGE, that's in the blue silk, and then comes Roy's Rivera, that is towards the outside, racing about 6 lengths off the leader at this stage. Further back in the run there is Gimme One Night, and on the outside of that one, Silver's Bullet. Further back then to Flickety by Far, there's about 8 or 9 lengths from top to tail as they go now towards that 1,600 metre marker. Mangrove takes it up, Strathdon is second. Silver Rose is back in that third position. Roy's Rivera. Dynasty's Blossoms further back in the run, then comes Noble Secret. They're followed by LIEGE, has got about 7 or 8 lengths to make up. Then we drop back to Gimme One Night, who's on the inside, and then we drop further back by Pacific Chestnut, Silver's Bullet, and Flickety by Far is about 14 lengths off the leader. Mangrove controls the pace by 2. Strathdon is perfectly placed in second. Silver Rose is in third position. Dynasty's Blossom, Roy's Rivera's on the outside of runners. Then comes Noble Secret, LIEGE near the rail. Then Pacific Chestnut, Gimme One Night. And then Silver's Bullet and Flickety by Far still trails. And that's still about 14 lengths off the leader. Mangrove takes them to the 800, leads it by 1.5 lengths to 2. Strathdon is second, Roy's Rivera's third. At the rail is Silver Rose. Then Dynasty's Blossom and Noble Secret's trying to creep closer. LIEGE on the inside. Then Pacific Chestnut, Silver's Bullet, Gimme One Night is one of the trailers. They turn into the home stretch. Then Flickety by Far in the Lonsdale Stirrup Cup. Mangrove continues to lead it. Strathdon's about to strike. Roy's Rivera's on the outside. LIEGE between runners. Down the inside, Dynasty's Blossom. Strathdon now comes into the lead. Down the inside, Dynasty's Blossom. LIEGE is a big runner, and Silver Rose is on the outside. Strathdon down the inside, LIEGE. Dynasty's Blossom, the outside, Silver Rose. LIEGE leads it past the 100 metre marker. On the outside is Roy's Rivera and Silver's Bullet, but LIEGE is going to win it. And LIEGE has won it. Second, Gimme One Night, close for third. There's a wall of them involved in that one. We'll go back for that slow-mo. Number 5, LIEGE. Sheldon, the stake or the Peters on you tonight. The 16 to 1 about LIEGE. The Dynasty wins it, and wins it by 2 lengths. Gimme One Night, I think, runs second. Gimme One Night will run into that second position. Third is mighty close. Silver Rose, Dynasty's Blossom, Roy's Rivera, Silver's Bullet, and Strathdon. And then Flickety by Far. Number 5 pays up 12.90 and 3 rand. Further back in the run is Noble Secret. So here's LIEGE, this the Dynasty, Sean Terry, and this one for Chris Van Niekerk, Main Chance Farms. The gap opens up, and LIEGE comes exploding into action. Dynasty's Blossoms on the inside, Silver Rose, Roy's Rivera, and Silver's Bullet, but LIEGE records its 7th win from 34 outings, and is victorious in the Lonsdale Stirrup Cup. Back to the studio.
Looked to be a big prospect here for the Sean Terry outfit. Let's get Sean Terry into the picture. He's just having a look-see over the field, and I'm sure, Sean, if you step into the winner's box here, when he went down to the start, he was moving well, and I thought he'd be the horse to beat.
Yeah, funny you should say that. This horse for some time has had me beat in that, there actually is not a problem with him. After his rest, we gave him a long rest after he won the Summer Cup, and he just didn't bounce back to form. And the step up in distance is the first time we've seen a spark again. So I'm just glad that we stepped him up in trip, and yeah, very well ridden from Ray. I mean, but the horse was well weighted, well drawn, and he only had to bring a quarter of his best form to have a serious chance here, and I'm glad he's pulled it off.
Well, I remember last week you mentioned Raymond Danielson. He just needs to get to his A game. The potential's there, and he seems to get these horses to revitalize.
Yeah, he's ridden in the last 2 outings. The one they went too slow, and the other one he pulled hard. And I just said to Ray in the parade ring, I don't want to hear they went too slow, and I don't want to see him pulling. Do what you like otherwise. And he's done the rest. So yeah, well done to Ray. Well done to the team at home. Obviously, it's been a great week. And yeah, just to Chris and Eric at the Derby, well done. And you know, they always, when I've got these older horses and I keep them in, they trust me, but they always, you know, say, well, are we not pushing our luck? But we're definitely not, and I'm glad he's come home today.
Well done to you and the team. Keep up the success.
Thank you.
Before you leave us, there's your prize from Mayesh Chetty. Thanks very much to Sean Terry. And if you can also receive on behalf of Chris van Niekerk, so well done there. The winning owner, Chris van Niekerk, the 650,000 buy for the Main Chance Farms. He's a son of Dynasty. And then Raymond Danielson, he's going to join us. Now, I'm going to have to meet up with Raymond and thank him later on, buy you a Coke. Now, when he went down to the start, I thought he's going to take some beating.
Yeah, you know what, he has been a little bit disappointing. His work has always been so good, and I worked him just the other day and he gave me such a good feel. He just felt like he was in a good space, and today, usually when he goes into the chute and he gives me a few jerks, then you know he's there and he's well. And I must say, I wanted to be a little bit closer. The pace is a little bit too fast for me, and he started losing a few places, but I wasn't too worried as long as they didn't ease it back. And they actually didn't ease it, they picked it up a little bit more. And once I came top of the straight, I was looking for running room, and he quickened all the way. It was like a good horse.
How big was that gap? Because I closed my eyes for 3 seconds. I was with Anthony Del Pesh. I was screaming him home. How big was the gap?
Yeah, you know what? Obviously, on the with those horses coming back to me, I had to make a quick decision, and I started slicing through them like a knife through hot butter. And I must say, it's obviously the best feeling in racing when that happens. And once he got away through, it was quite smooth. I didn't have any issues. Didn't have to check him. He had a very smooth run the whole way. And when I gave him just a little tap, he found more, which I knew it was a race over.
Well, you're a grade 1 performer, a grade 3 performer, so well done to you. Keep the hits coming.
Yeah, you know, obviously a big thank you to Mr. van Niekerk and Mr. Terry. Obviously, without them, it's not always that easy. So I'm just glad I got back on this horse, and 553 days since his last win, I'm glad he can come and win another big one.
Please receive your winning memento from Mayesh Chetty. Put it together for Raymond Danielson. He's brought home LIEGE, Director of Gold Circle, Mayesh Chetty. And then Zibonele, he's going to step in and get his winning prize. He's going to get his winning check there and some money to go spend. So well done to all the connections. Thanks to Mayesh Chetty stepping in. And this event, the Lonsdale Stirrup Cup Grade 3, belongs to this horse, LIEGE.